幸福在转角。烦恼不见了，开心的快疯了，你从不计较，服务好的很荒谬，有你在撑腰，幸福的快炸掉，大声炫耀，要高峰，去天峰，要高峰 ，TFBO。最快速的方式，快乐出手就得到，满满的安全感，幸福在转角。烦恼不见了，开心的快疯了，你从不计较，服务好的很荒谬，有你在撑腰，幸福的快炸掉，大声炫耀，要高峰，去天峰，要高峰 ，TFBO。
It's main event time here at the Maba Stadium. The fourth game of our quadruple header features the Shawarma Shack Pilipinas going up against Harimau Malaysia. Two undefeated teams in our pocket tournament so far. One streak will have to come to an end, however short it might be. Good evening, my name is Stancy alongside Meng.
Yeah, welcome to Malaysia, Stan. You know, you've been here for about 3 days already. How are you enjoying Malaysia?
Malaysia has been pretty hot. The food has been great, but the basketball has been exciting. It's been thrilling. It's been a heck of a ride so far.
Oh, I swear, like the first game that we commentated on, such a great game. And then yesterday's game, ASIU versus MBC, that one went down to the wire as well.
And we're in for a treat here because Harimau Malaysia, for those of you from the Philippines, for those of you who are new to AsiaBasket, this is the national team of Malaysia. And then Shawarma Shack Pilipinas, this is a team made up of a mix of young and old professionals, some of whom have played at a very high level over in the Philippines, have represented the country as well in various levels of play. So it's going to be a matchup that a lot of people have been definitely looking forward to. We're going to get to know our protagonists in a bit, but first, let's send it over to our venue announcer, Ken Pangilinan, for the introduction of teams.
Let's meet our participating teams first. For Shawarma Shack Pilipinas. Number 1, Michael Magabalo. Number 3, Junior Pascurano. Number 6, Vicky Monte. court 2 is Yap Pong.
There's a look at our officials for the game. Crew Chief Nelson Chan, Yapo Bun, and Lim Sok Hun, the two umpires for tonight's matchup. As both teams step up, acknowledge each other, because in a few short moments, things will heat up on the court.
Yeah, you know, friends off the court, enemies on it. These teams are going to play their hardest. They want to, you know, it's back-to-back games that are going to be win streak breakers. You know, the MBC versus the San Beda Red Lions was two undefeated teams going against each other, and this game is too. So they're going to play hard, trying to keep themselves undefeated.
Not to inflate the win streaks they have. After all, we're only at the start of the tournament. They're both just 1-0 at this point, but all good things, they do come to an end, and we can say the same about these very short spotless records so far. But now let's send it over to our courtside reporter, Shell Kiambao. She's with Mike, Harry, Zuzu.
Thank you very much, Tan and Meng. Yes, right. Beside me is Mike. You had, I must say, a very efficient showing in your opening day win, and you had a 2-day rest. Did you find that more of a blessing or a curse?
I think it was more of a blessing for us, because our first game we just landed and arrived at the hotel around 4 a.m. and then we had a game that afternoon. So having the blessing to have 2 days off and, you know, kind of regroup and practice, I think it was the blessing for us.
And you'll be playing against the defending champs. But how do you find the brand of play here in AsiaBasket versus the ones that we have in the Philippines?
Actually, for me, I was surprised because, you know, I've been playing 3x3, and coming to this one, the first game, I was appreciative of the referee and the calls they were doing. So all in all, I think everybody's doing a good job, the commentator and you guys, the players, you know, everything is fair play, and that's the type of basketball I like to play.
Thank you so much, Mike, and good luck on your game. Back to you, Stan and Meng.
Thank you very much, Shell Kiambao. Mike Zuzu, no stranger to Philippine basketball. I actually talked to him over breakfast today, and he did mention the challenge for someone of his size, 6'6", fitting into beds that are normally for people 6 feet and under.
I mean, that has to be a problem that, you know, it's not nothing for us, because, you know, I'm 5'10". So I fit into any bed fine, but, you know, obviously the difficulty is of a tall person there coming into play as we look at some of the lineups or the rosters for the two teams.
That's right, Shawarma Shack Pilipinas, helmed by Raymond Valenzona, that's their head coach. Average height of about 6'3", 6'4", like I said. A bit challenging squeezing into hotel beds, especially when you have to travel. But according to Mike Zuzu, that's nothing compared to some of the travel arrangements back home when you have to really go into some of the more far-flung and remote areas where commercial basketball is still played. That's one of the places where Mike Zuzu really plies his assets.
And Mike Zuzu has definitely had a great starting game in this AsiaBasket International Tournament. He played against the Sanzar Pharmaceuticals on the first day of the tournament. And, you know, he's got 10 points, 11 rebounds, a cool double-double.
Yeah, great showing for Mike Zuzu to introduce himself as we look at head coach Yongkian An at the helm for Harimau Malaysia. You saw earlier the roster for the Malaysian national team. As Shell said earlier, they're the defending champions here in AsiaBasket. They won the tournament last October, and a lot of these players from Harimau Malaysia were also involved in the PhilBasket Summer Championship back in March, April, and May of 2022, where they performed under the Kuala Lumpur Asil banner.
Of course, but you know, the Harimau Malaysia team is very fortunate that AsiaBasket has come at this time, because it comes at a time where it allows them to prepare for the SEA Games. But one of the key players from the opposition, the Shawarma Shack Pilipinas team, is the 39-year-old Ken Bono, if I'm not wrong. 39-year-old, and he's still playing at such a high level. You know, he had 20 points, can stroke it from outside, score from the inside, and 9 rebounds. As well as Megan Mahadevan, he's looked to be more aggressive. You know, he had a few niggling injuries in the past year or so, but KL Asil, Megan Mahadevan will be the person they look to defend Ken Bono.
I was actually there in the Philippines when Megan Mahadevan went through that knee injury in the summer of 2022. Really unfortunate, but glad to see him back on the court. Let's send it down to Ken Pangilinan for the starters.
Point guard number 6, Nicky Monteclaro. Shooting guard number 10,
Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Shawarma Shack Pilipinas. Nicky Monteclaro and RJ Delas in the backcourt. Kit Aviso and Mike Zuzu starting at the forwards. And the man in the middle, Ken Bono, the former UAAP MVP. That's one of the top collegiate leagues over in the Philippines.
Yeah, definitely want to see the matchup against the Ken Bono and Megan Mahadevan. But Megan Mahadevan not starting in this game. Head coach Yongkian An going with a slightly different lineup from what I can see. Going with kind of like a 5-out lineup here with Wei Yong, Ting Chun Hong, Wong Yi Hao, Chang Zifeng, as well as Lee Jing Hong to start the game. And one of the big questions that we have for this team here is, where is Mei Mei? You know, the game, where's Waldo? We're trying to look for the same thing. Mana Mei Mei. Mana is where in Malay.
Okay.
So Mana Mei Mei, he only had 7 points in about 20 minutes played against the MFT Fruit Masters, a game where Harimau Malaysia won very comfortably.
I was going to take that one step further and ask in Mandarin, Mei Mei Tainar.
Yeah. Wow, showing off that prowess in Chinese, your language.
Mike Zuzu fading away there, missing his first attempt.
Yeah, Mike Zuzu, not necessarily a great shooter, more a driver into the paint.
Quick three right there for Chang Zifeng.
And there you see the 5-out formation. Chang Zifeng, a very deadly shooter, a quick fire three.
RJ Delas for the Shawarma Shack Pilipinas, another veteran here. He's the guy with the tattoos on both of his shoulders. Someone who hasn't really made much of an impact himself based on the previous game, and he's one of these players for Shawarma Shack who might be looking to get hot in tonight's contest.
Yeah, and one of the keys to the game, this is very important, is limiting the Harimau shooters. They, they embrace a run-and-gun game, had shot 41 threes in that previous game and made 15 of them. So that is one of the keys of the game for the Shawarma Shack today.
Harimau is running. Yi Hao on the outside. He had 31 in last night's game. Looking to see if he can follow up on that. But he's got Mike Zuzu defending him tightly. Notice Mei Mei not really involved in this set right now, as Lee Ting Hong drains that elbow jumper.
And you know, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, because Yongkian An definitely wants more weapons in the team, more players to step up in the absence, or if Mei Mei doesn't perform well in one single game.
10 seconds on the shot clock here for Shawarma Shack. Good deflection there, but Monteclaro with the recovery takes the three. No.
Nicky Monteclaro has that three-pointer in his arsenal, but definitely not a consistent enough shooter.
Wong Yi Hao earning himself a trip to the line here.
Yeah, there was that height mismatch between the two players there. But Harimau Malaysia keys to the game is, like I said, can the bench keep producing if Mei Mei is nowhere to be seen in a game? And, you know, they have to keep generating turnovers. They love that run-and-gun game. The transition generates easy baskets for them. And finally, and the most obvious, Ken Bono and Mike Zuzu on the squad, the starting lineup. Can they hold their ground against these two? I haven't seen the Shawarma Shack go down to Ken Bono in the paint, post him up yet. And that's a place where he can dominate.
Monteclaro here at the controls. Can't fight his big men down low. Zuzu trying to call for it, but they're really stuck here outside the three-point line. Even Ken Bono taking that baseline jumper, not entirely comfortable as Zuzu cleans up the mess.
And the weakness of that zone defense is the rebounding. So they definitely need to improve on that, or focus on that aspect.
Aviso picking up the steal. Here's Mike Zuzu driving inside off the glass.
Too easy for Mike Zuzu, not stopping the ball in transition, allowing him to get deep inside the paint. And that's what happens when you allow such a strong finisher at the rim to get all the way there.
28-year-old Mike Zuzu hoping to complete the three-point play here.
Did not shoot well on his free throws that opening night, but he starts the game well, 1 for 1 now.
And Mike Zuzu is somebody who has won championships at the collegiate level, in particular the PCCL or the Philippine Collegiate Champions League. That's when the champions of the various collegiate leagues in the Philippines get together and compete to crown the ultimate college champion, for a lack of a better term. Mike Zuzu is part of that 2018 squad from the Lyceum of the Philippines University that took home the gold.
Exactly, bringing some championship pedigree into this team. Always, always good to bring some winning mentality into a team.
Chang Tse-Feng taking a seat. Megan Mahadevan checking in early for Coach Yong Kian-an. Shawarma Shack just bringing the ball around, still unable to penetrate. 8 seconds on the shot clock here. Bono, nice pass. They're whipping it. Deles as close as he can get. Bono from mid-range. Aviso couldn't hang on, but an offensive rebound for Shawarma Shack. Zuzu already attracting those double teams.
Yeah, he is definitely a very, very key player to look out for. Although he did score the most points on in that game against the Sanzar Pharmaceuticals, but as you can see, a very strong driver, a fairly good ball handler as well. Driving inside and drawing fouls is his game.
That foul was before the shooting motion. That's why Shawarma Shack has 14 seconds to shoot here. Zuzu trying from outside. No.
Well, I'm not sure how his shooting translates, but he's been struggling a little bit with the shooting aspect of the game.
Meanwhile, the battle of the big boys. Mahadevan fading away against Bono. Zuzu picks it up.
No, I definitely like the aggressiveness of Megan Mahadevan. His inside game will open up the shooting of Harimau Malaysia.
Ken Bono tries from deep.
Too little, too late there from Megan Mahadevan. You gave too much space to such a deadly shooter.
And you mentioned earlier, Meng, that you were surprised that at 39, Ken Bono can still play. Don't let his bulk deceive you. It really belies his shooting ability, which only gets better with age.
Yeah, and it fits so well into this modern game. How he coexists with Mike Zuzu.
Time running out, and Shawarma Shack capitalizes on that turnover. Monteclaro to Bono, tries again. That one is short. And as Harimau runs here, let's take a look at how both teams have been doing their prep. Let's bring Shel Kiambao back.
Stan and Meng, Coach Raymond of Shawarma Shack is expecting nothing but the best from his team as they face Harimau for the very first time. He said the team did their homework on the defending champions play and have actually prepared and practiced a game plan to contain their scorers. Harimau, on the other hand, is also not underestimating their opponent tonight. But Stan and Meng, I was given a shock when Coach Danny said that defending their championship is not his priority, but the SEA Games. He said that this AsiaBasket tournament is truly helping him determine the final lineup for the SEA Games and, of course, train his players. That is it from me. Back to you, Stan and Meng.
Thank you very much, Shel. Wong Yi-hao showing off the fruits of that preparation in time for the SEA Games as Harimau takes a 3-point lead into the break. .5:16 remaining here in the first quarter. Harimau Malaysia has a very narrow 3-point lead off that quick layup from Wong Yi-hao.
Exactly, a defensive breakdown right there on that last play. And Shawarma Shack should be looking to slow down play with their two big men.
Couple of substitutions here for Coach Raymond Valenzona. Pascolados checked in, taking Aviso's place as Ken Bono fires again.
Yeah, great play drawn up there by the coach of Shawarma Shack to open up the defense.
And right as you said that, Meng, Harimau turns it over. That's another one for them, and Shawarma Shack has to capitalize on these turnovers if they want to get the jump on Harimau.
Yeah, they definitely have to. And Harimau definitely is able to force their fair share of turnovers.
That's 4 already for Harimau as Monte Claro squares up and knocks it down.
And a little bit of a celebration for Nicky Monteclaro as he knocked down that tree, taking the lead for Shawarma Shack.
That's a go-ahead bucket right there. Anthony Liu seeing his first minutes of action. Liu looking to post up here against a smaller defender. Gets stripped. That's the 5th turnover for Harimau.
That's great hands there by Julius Pascalado.
Zuzu with the jam!
Man, how did Mike Zuzu get so open under the paint?
Zuzu just running the lane, finding himself an opening, and then throwing it down with a hammer, and Zuzu rejects it!
Back-to-back highlight plays from Mike Zuzu.
Shawarma Shack, they've got momentum. Zuzu with the offensive rebound, but that one's out of bounds.
Mike Zuzu showing so much energy to start the game. The dunk on one end, as we'll see this monster block from Mike Zuzu as well, timing that rejection perfectly.
Zuzu getting that weak stuff out of here. Under 4 minutes to play here in the first. Shawarma Shack feeling a little bit of the momentum and the confidence in their favor. Now it's up to them to capitalize as Ken Bono gets called on that.
Yep, holding foul called there by the referee. And we'll see if it is a shooting, if Megan will be shooting free throws. No.
Yeah, no free throws for Megan Mahadevan.
Instead, Harimau has a chance to drop and baseline inbound play.
Quick jumper, that one is good. Diwi Yang, his first bucket.
Great balance by Diwi Yang that knocked down that shot over Pascalado.
Meanwhile, the 5 on the floor for Shawarma Shack remains the same, save for Pasculado. Zuzu for 3, can't get a lucky bounce.
Went so high up the floor. It went so high up the rim. Thought it might fall in.
Megan was calling for it earlier, but crisp ball movement here for Harimau.
And tell you what, the 2 big men of Harimau Malaysia now fits really well defending the big man pairing of Shawarma Shack.
Yeah, both Anthony Liu and Megan Mahadevan, taller than your typical Southeast Asian big, as Ken Bono beginning to feel it from outside.
Yeah, Megan Mahadevan just trying to help inside the paint, and that's what happens if you overcommit.
Anthony Liu almost got caught napping there. He got lucky and rewarded Harimau with that bank shot.
Yeah, Mike Harry Zuzu was out of place there and could only keep his hands up, not affecting that shot by Anthony Liu.
Deles running a pick and roll here with Zuzu, ignores the pick. There's the steal. Hang going up. Almost rejected. Not sure if Zuzu got a finger on it.
Yeah, he might have gotten a finger on it. Yui was timing that.
Zuzu having a hard time running back. Bono gets fouled as he goes up for the J. Can't drain it. They'll have 2 more chances.
Yeah, sorry, Stan. Megan Mahadevan has got to stay close to Ken Bono. He's hit 2 or 3 long-range jumpers already. As you can see, found him there. And RJ Delis just does all the small things well on the court. You know, he might not record the most points or the most rebounds on the stat sheet, but it's just these things, you know. Knowing Ken Bono has the hot hand, sets the screen for him, opens it up, draws that foul from Megan Mahadevan.
RJ Deles had 4 assists for Shawarma Shack in their opening game against Sanzar Pharmaceuticals, their leading playmaker in that contest. Leos Guerras checked in for Coach Raymond Valenzona. 6 seconds on the shot clock for Shawarma Shack. Esguerra throws it up and in.
Esguerra is a great finisher and a willing attacker once he gets inside the paint.
And Harimau answers back. Diwi Yang with the mid-ranger.
Yeah, I think a toe on the line there. It seemed like a 3-pointer from where we sit. A toe on the line will count that as a 2 points.
And that's the curse of being a tall player, a basketball player. Sometimes your toes just end up on the line, whether you intend to or not. Pascolado to Bono, trying again. And if at first you don't succeed, try and try again.
Man, he is hot right now.
Ken Bones making his bones off of those three-pointers. Ui Shenfu trying to answer back from the corner.
I don't know how he does that fade away Dirk-like three-pointer. That's just such a hard skill to master.
Less than 36 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Going back to Ui Shenfu, I actually saw him and Mei Mei earlier having pre-game dinner at one of the nearby restaurants here in the Chinatown area. And I was pretty surprised that they seemed to be taking in a full meal hours before a game. I mean, like 2-3 hours before a game, which is not that common.
No, definitely not. But they, these athletes definitely need their energy. Xianfu's a very young guy as well, so the fast metabolism and stuff like that. I'm trying to avoid meals at night, and they're just easily wolfing down one.
Shot clock violation here for Shawarma Shack. And that's the first turnover for Shawarma Shack in this contest.
Wow, it will be a team turnover there. A great defense by the Harimau Malaysia as they look to get one last possession.
Lim Chi Wei spinning past Rojo. The artistry in that layup.
Yeah. Lim Chi Wei just a very smart floor general.
And Aviso taking the last shot from the baseline. No good. And to end the first quarter, Shawarma Shack is up by 1. Score is 23-22. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more coverage of the 2023 AsiaBasket Kuala Lumpur, brought to you by Sports Click. Second quarter of action about to begin here. Harimau Malaysia down by 1 after the first quarter, despite shooting 9 of 13 from the field, 69%. Nice. My name is Stancy, by the way, joined by Meng calling the action for this evening.
Yeah, and these guys have had such a close quarter. It's only just a 1-point game going to the second. And Carl Bono has led the way for the Shawarma Shack team. 11 points off 4 for 7 shooting so far. Very efficient.
Ken Bono, 3 of 5 from downtown. He actually played all 10 minutes of the first quarter, and that's a clean pick. Clean steal for Esguerra and the rest of Shawarma Shack. Mike Zuzu back in. Pascolado being bothered by the defense right there. Zuzu trying to find position down low. Aviso likes that right wing, that right corner. But gets caught there by the officials.
And the 2-3 zone so far still working very well for the Harimau Malaysia team. It's a surprise that the Shawarma Shack, they had one possession where they managed to, break down that zone defense, leading into a Carl Bono mid-range jumper. And it's a surprise that they aren't going back to that.
Back down the other way goes Harimau. And there's Mei Mei. You've been looking for him. He's in the post. Fadeaway jumper. Good.
There you go, finding his touch early in the game. This bucket gets Harimau Malaysia the lead back.
And Mei Mei, one of the leading scorers in any tournament that he's part of. When he was playing last October, as Pascolado drills that layup, he actually averaged 18.3 points per game, third overall in points scored in the tournament. So you can expect Mei Mei to get hot and find his rhythm. I just hope he doesn't take his time.
Yeah, no, definitely. Mei Mei, Major Basketball League MVP. As he knocks down that tree there, reminding us of his quality yet again.
Mei Mei or Ting Chun Hong, however you want to call him, knows all about those big games and those big shots. Also took home MVP in that last tournament, lining up for three. That's good.
3 straight buckets for Ting Chun Hong. And, you know, it was a good defensive play by Lee Jing Hong. Switched on to Pascolado, anticipated the pass well, and started that.
Zuzu trying his luck from the outside, can't get it to go, and Harimau is running. Are they going to go back to Mei Mei? It seems they are. And the defense closed in on Mei Mei before he had a chance to pull up. Offensive rebound, Wong Yi Hao. Nice pump fake. Going to go to the line for 2.
And I tell you what, Wong Yi Hao is just Mr. Consistency for Harimau Malaysia. When they somehow seem to struggle to get points, he's able to, you know, just bring them back into it by drawing fouls like that. Just a really crafty move. That up fake got the defender jumping in the air and then just going up, forcing the referee to blow the whistle.
Wong Yi Hao has earned the nickname Captain Clutch in Malaysian basketball circles. Tell me about how he got that moniker, Meng.
Yeah, you know, like I said, you know, sometimes the Malaysian team kind of struggles in the fourth quarter to start the game, and when that happens, Wong Yi Hao is the person they go to. He likes to attack out of the post, bullying smaller guards at his position. He's you know, a long guy for a shooting guard. So, you know, drawing fouls, getting them back into games, that's why he earned this Captain Clutch nickname.
On the other end, here's Shawarma Shack. They've got 10 seconds to fire. Trying to go back to Zuzu, but can't find him. He's got Deles as a playmaker, as Rojo tried to drain a 3, no good. And Harimau off the defensive rebound. They immediately run down the other end. Mei Mei wide open, yes!
He's perfect from the field, 4 for 4 so far, and this second quarter flurry has tied him with Ken Bono as the leading scorers of the game, 11 points.
But what's more impressive is Harimau's jumped out to a 10-point lead. Quick timeout here for Shawarma Shack. We're gonna go. Less than 2 minutes into the second quarter, and Harimau Malaysia has stunned Shawarma Shack. They went on a 13-2 run, fueled by Mei Mei, who scored 11 points out of nowhere.
Yeah, 11 points in 2.5 minutes. That's got to be a record of some sort.
I mean, it's no Reggie Miller as Zuzu battles the big men down low. Zuzu, one more try, looking for a third. Ong Wei Yong with a rebound. Here's Wong Yi Hao to Mei Mei. Defense now knows what to do with Mei Mei and throws up that floater, earns himself a pair of freebies.
That foul there keeps him perfect from the field. So Mr. Nelson Chan may be trying to keep Ting Chun Hong's streak alive.
Oh, come on, let's not accuse any officials of any biases here.
Yeah, but Mr. Nelson Wong right there on camera just giving a little bit of a warning to Shawarma Shack's coach there. Not sure what's happening.
Mei missed one free throw in the game last night against MFT, so he's 6 for 7 so far in the entire tournament.
Still a pretty good percentage there.
Make that 7 for 8 as Mei goes 2 for 2 at the line.
Mei just really has that consistent shooting stroke, and that's why he's kind of known as the Malaysia's #1 basketball player. Malaysia Tiran. The first.
And when you look at Mei's nickname, right, it comes from the Chinese word for beautiful, Mei Li, the Mei, and it's because of the eyes. There's something about the eyes that just captivate you, just bring you in. And the story goes that when he was a young child, he was very good looking because of those baby blues or baby blacks in his case.
Man, don't look straight into his eyes. Don't look straight into his eyes. That's my warning, man. Don't look straight into the eyes. But yeah, he is a really good-looking dude, and that's part of the reason why he did get that nickname. There's been a couple of different stories as well about that nickname. So
it really depends on who you ask and what day of the week.
Exactly.
As Ken Bono drains that free throw.
Feeling. So Ken Bono trying to jostle with Mei for the leading scorer position.
10-point game here between Harimau Malaysia and Shawarma Shack. Ken Bones going 2 for 2. Nice pass inside to Anthony Liu. Good footwork, but Zuzu with the board. And Anthony Liu just raised his hand. He's like, yeah, my bad.
That was a tough hit on Mike Zuzu as he came down with the rebound there, as we can see on this play. It's a good post move by Anthony Liu. Just couldn't finish in traffic there. Great defense by Delis. Delis is a really versatile defender, by the way. Can defend probably 1 to 4.
And that's what veteran experience can bring to a team, as RJ Delis has been a pro for a good 10, 11 years at this point.
That's a great strip there by Ong Wei Yong, although Nicky Monteclaro has something to say about that. Take a look at this replay. Oh, all ball right there. Ong Wei Yong, good hands.
6:13 remaining here in the half. Harimau trying to reset their offense. Going back to Mei. Tough screen from Anthony Liu. No foul called, and suddenly the Harimau leads up to 12.
Yeah, Ken Bono calling for a moving screen right there, but the referees say nothing doing.
Michael Macabalug was asking for something from the officials. Delis to Macabalug, left corner, 3. That's off. And the officials say it's Shawarma Shack ball as Megan Mahadevan makes his return.
And the ball did go off of Ting Chun Hong as RJ Delis once again doing something that might not show up on the stat sheet, competing for that rebound, forcing Mei to have to tap it out.
14 seconds here for Shawarma Shack.
12-point lead for Harimau Malaysia.
Monteclaro going over to Bono, down to Zuzu in the low post.
And getting physical inside the paint. Mike Zuzu against Megan Mahadevan, but Zuzu seemed to have hit a wall when it comes to trying to move Mahadevan, as you can see right here on this post up here. Look at that, trying to go hard at Megan, and it just see Megan, no worries there.
He's a brick wall, and when you match up somebody like Mike Zuzu, that chiseled physique, against the stout brick wall that's Megan Mahadevan, it's, as we say in pro wrestling, big meaty men slapping meat.
Oh, I've never heard of that saying before, but I don't watch wrestling and you do. So that's something new that I learned.
Ken Bono forcing that shot right there, and Mahadevan with a big boy board.
Yeah, big boy board, BBB.
Anthony Liu, nice pass to Megan.
Nice cut there by Megan Mahadevan, just cut all the way to the basket, and Anthony Liu kept his head up enough to find him.
Megan Mahadevan, 4 points now for Harimau. Monteclaro, deep 3, in and out. And now Harimau, they're pushing it. That's a 3 right there. No good for Wong Yi Hao.
Like you said, Captain Clutch. He only comes alive in the 4th. Or does he?
I'm not sure if that was meant to be a backhanded compliment, Meng. As Mike Zuzu drives to the hole. It's getting testy here between Wong Yi Hao and Mike Zuzu.
Yeah, no, definitely. Mike Zuzu is a player that plays very physical, and you know, Wong Yi-hao is not someone who shies away from that physical play as well. But he picks up his third foul. Oh well, sorry, it's Megan Mahadevan who picks up his third foul of the game. He's got to be careful.
Ui Shenfu and Chang Tifeng checking back in. Quick spot minutes here for Megan Mahadevan and Mei.
And you know, Megan Mahadevan usually, and Anthony Liu as well, usually embrace that bruiser role on this team, so, like Mike Zuzu and Ken Bono does for the Shawarma Shack team.
Oh, you don't have to remind me about how Anthony Liu loves to bang elbows in the post. I remember his performance in the Philippines last year. He made quite the impression.
Oh yeah. Petition for an MMA fight, maybe.
Big lineup here still for Harimau as that layup goes in and out. Monteclaro controlling the pace though, because he knows that Ken Bono and Mike Zuzu have gotten a little bit tired after all that energy they unleashed in the first quarter. Zuzu, basket's good for him. He's got a three-point play opportunity here.
Yeah, but that's that signature high-low, you know, connection from Shawarma Shack. Ken Bono looking for Mike Zuzu inside the paint, and Chang Zifeng, more of a stretch 4, a stretch 3/4 position, and he's not able to handle that physicality of Mike Zuzu as well as Megan Mahadevan did.
Credit Ken Bono with the dime right there. That's his second assist.
Yeah. You said he was the leading assist man for the game against Sanzar Pharmaceuticals?
That was RJ Delis.
My bad. The ultimate teammate, RJ Delis. Now, I just appreciate the play of RJ Delis. You know, because if you ask me to play basketball, I'm also a player like that, or I like to think so. So you know, just trying to get my teammates to play the best of their abilities.
Harimau with 13 seconds here. Ui Shenfu opening, and that floater gets the lucky twirl around the rim.
And I'm sure Ui Shenfu is just getting more and more Filipino fans now. You know, he did really well with that outrageous hairstyle in Philippines, the last PhilBasket.
That's right. He had those dreads with the blonde highlights, and I know Ui Shenfu also has a flair for the athletics. I know there are some slam dunk competitions here in Malaysia that he's participated in.
Yeah, he did win the slam dunk champion title of the Agong Cup, which is the national championship for Malaysia.
Shawarma Shack cutting the deficit to 9 off that Nicky Monteclaro jumper. Chang Tifeng for 3, answering back.
Yeah, look at that. Harimau Malaysia matching stretch 4 for stretch 4. You know, you got Ken Bono, we've got Chang Zifeng.
About 3 minutes remaining here at the half as RJ Delis almost got stripped by Diwi Yang. But then Harimau all alone, and that's an easy layup.
A rare mistake there from RJ Delis, turning that ball over, trying to hit Mike Zuzu on the pick on the roll.
Heng Yi-tong from Johor Bahru. That quick layup as Monteclaro finds himself open for 3.
Wow, Monteclaro exploding here. It's hit 2 3-pointers in the game already.
On the other end, Chang Tifeng trying once again. Can't produce the same result this time, and Zuzu's like, no, little man, I got the board.
Yeah, for sure.
Mike Zuzu just floating there, couldn't glide his way towards the basket. Heng Yi-tong, another quick layup.
And you could say Harimau Malaysia is probably one of the Achilles heels of this Shawarma Shack team, because they don't get back well in transition, preferring to hit the offensive glass more.
And what's particularly interesting about Harimau's play is that there's nothing too fancy about it. All basic plays. Running in transition, running the lanes, finding your open spots, and then making the easy baskets when they appear.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's almost a carbon copy of that 7 seconds offense. We're just missing that you know, Steve Nash type floor general, and we're hoping one of these players can step into that.
Anthony Liu taking a seat. And I believe this is Mak Lok Seng coming in. Tell me about the Milo Mac nickname on the back of his jersey.
Well, Mak Lok Seng, so Milo, the first two names, Milo. So Milo is one of the national drinks of Malaysia. You know, it's really symbolic, especially at the primary school levels, because you have Milo trucks coming to the school. I'm sure every single one of you Malaysians listening to this stream will know about the Milo trucks coming to the school. You know, you getting so excited to have iced Milo coming from the trucks, and you know, it's just a good memory in every Malaysian's mind.
Sadly, we're not sponsored by Milo. It would be nice to have an ice-cold glass of that right now as Dewey Young lines up from downtown.
Wow, that was a great challenge by RJ Dallas there on that three-pointer, but good focus by Dewey Young to knock it down.
1:25 remaining here at the half. Monte Claro getting a high pick from Zuzu. On the other end, there's Makabalug. Spinning inside. Free throw line jumper. No good for Leo Esguerra. Look at RJ Dallas just diving for that ball, but got beat by Harimau Oy for three. And that one goes out of bounds.
Yeah, RJ Dallas, once again, like I said, that dive earns him nothing on the stat sheet. But, you know, it's just, it didn't work out on that play right there. As Oisien Fu, you can see, tried to knock down the tree, thought it was bouncing in. But Oisien Fu seems to have picked up an injury, a small injury here as he sits on the floor, and we'll check out of the game for a while.
Going back to RJ Dallas, he's actually one of the assistant coaches of this squad as well.
Oh, a coach on the floor.
He's a playing coach at the age of 30. Came from the College of St. Benilde, which is one of the teams that's also participating here in the tournament. But right now, Oisien Fu, I believe that's a hammy injury that he's got right now.
Yeah, we hope it's nothing too serious. They always don't enjoy seeing players go down with injuries.
Under a minute remaining here at the half. 53-39, that's the score in favor of Harimau Malaysia. Esguerra in the low block. Got two defenders on him, but drills it anyway.
He's such a crafty finisher inside. Not the biggest guy or not the strongest one, but his finesse is just so well nice to watch.
Two-man game here, Dewey Young and Mak Lok Seng. D's got Mike Zuzu, and he's like, you have it.
No, you know, it's never a good thing to put Mike Zuzu in the pick and roll for the opposing team, not for Shawarma Shack, because Mike Zuzu just has that athleticism and that mobility to keep up with smaller guards.
11-second differential here between shot clock and game clock. Lim Chi Wei, smart decision. Mike Zuzu picks it up. Shot clock's been turned off. Zuzu's running. Takes it up himself off the glass. Out.
And you always, this is the third time that I've been saying this, you got to stop the ball in transition. How many times have they let Mike Zuzu get all the way to the rim unopposed there? Lim Chi Wei tried to steal the ball from behind a la Jose Alvarado, but, you know, no resistance at the rim again. And, you know, a foul is always going to happen. It's always going to be called by the referees in this case.
Unfortunately, not everybody can be Grand Theft Alvarado. Zuzu with a lucky 13. Cutting the deficit to 11. Let's see if he can cut it to 10 here, which he does. 13.7 seconds remaining. Last shot for Harimau Malaysia. And they haven't really let up in terms of pace. They seem to be favoring this quicker tempo just to tire out Shawarma Shack. 4 seconds. Lim Chi Wei almost lost it. Chang Tze Fung, he loves that wing three. Can't get it to go. And at the end of the first half, Harimau Malaysia's up by 10 against Shawarma Shack, 53-43. We'll take a break, and when we come back, the second half right here at the Maba Stadium.
快速的方式，快乐出手就得到，慢慢的安全感，幸福在转角。烦恼不见了，开心的快疯了，你从不计较，服务好的很荒谬，有你在重要，幸福的快炸掉，大声炫耀，要高峰，去天方，要高峰 ，TFBO。最快速的方式，快乐出手就得到，慢慢的安全感，幸福在转角。烦恼不见了，开心的快疯了，你从不计较，服务好的很荒谬，有你在重要，幸福的快炸掉，大声炫耀，要高峰，去天方，要高峰 ，TFBO。
Welcome back here in the Maba Stadium. Halftime score is 53-43 in favor of Harimau Malaysia versus Shawarma Shack. I am Shelkiam Bao, and here with me is the team manager of the San Beda Red Lions match team, Coach Jude Roque. Coach, tell us about your mission in joining AsiaBasket.
Well, basically we joined this tournament because we want to learn to play against the international teams. We have a very young team, and I think this trip will give us a lot of learnings. And also, it's our first trip as a team outside the country since the pandemic. So I think it's a good experience for our young players.
Well, your team's performance is quite outstanding. Tell us about your thoughts on your upcoming opponents and the results that you're seeing so far.
Our upcoming games here. Yes, we will be playing another tough team tomorrow against ASIL. It's a pro team from Malaysia, and they have one American import, so they're a very tough team. But I think we can compete with them. I think we're the quicker team, so we're gonna use that to our advantage against a bigger team.
Well, good luck to you and your team, Coach. Back to you, Stan and Meng.
Thank you very much, Shel Kambao. Coach Jude Roque of the San Beda Red Lions. One of the well-established names in the Philippine basketball scene, the architect of the San Beda program, one that has netted 22 championships in the NCAA. But back to this game right now. 53-43, that's our score at the half in favor of Harimau Malaysia.
And the statistic that pops out to you on the screen right now is the shooting split for Harimau Malaysia. 62% shooting from the field and shooting over or making over half of their three-point attempts. That's just amazing, as well as staying perfect from the line, although they only had 6 trips to the line. You know, the Malaysian bench is just contributing so much to the team right now. I think that there's only one player on, well, 2 players on their roster who hasn't scored in, and that's, you know, that's very impressive. It's really similar story to what happened in that Sunbeta game against MBC earlier. You know, Sunbeta moved the ball around so well that they had also about 10 players that have scored already during halftime.
Let's take a look at the leading scorers, Meng, so far for Harimau Malaysia. Mei with 15, Diwi Yang with 7, and Chang Zifeng with 6. Meanwhile, for Shawarma Shack, Mike Zuzu with 14, Ken Bono with 13, and Nicky Monteclaro with 8.
Yeah, and something I do want to point out here that's very, very impressive. Mei has scored 15 points in, you know, a period of like 5 minutes. And compared to Ken Bono and Mike Zuzu, who has played almost the full first half, they've only had 14 and 13. So they're really trying to carry the load for Shawarma Shack right here.
Back to Mei, he hasn't missed all day.
No, you know, after Mana Mei game yesterday, you know, where everyone was wondering what happened to the Malaysia's #1 player, you know, he's turned up big. You know, he says, I'm here. I still can turn it on when I want to. It's just a matter of whether I flip the switch or not.
I like how you're characterizing Mei and basically saying that, you know, when he feels like it, when he's in the mood, that's when he'll become a flamethrower for Harimau.
And, you know, setting the mood is something that we're doing at the live scene here with the Kiss Cam.
About a minute away from resuming the action here at the Maba Stadium, and our in-arena entertainment team having fun with the fans in attendance.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 2 ASU players right there. Well, ASU player Joshua Agan, as well as their trainer right there.
Having some good fun here while scouting the competition as well.
Yeah, but Stan, let's go back to the keys of the game and see how they have, how each team has performed. You know, in terms of Shawarma Shack establishing that front line early against Harimau Malaysia, they're not, well, they have kind of done so, not in the expected way. Zuzu and Bono is leading the team in scoring. But, you know, they're not necessarily punishing Harimau Malaysia inside the paint, and that's perhaps something to do with the 2-3 defense of Harimau Malaysia. Shawarma Shack has not done well in transition, and but they have taken care of the ball pretty well, only committing 6 turnovers in that first quarter. A really good quarter for them.
Second half of action about to start here at the Maba Stadium. Kitaviso starting here for Shawarma Shack alongside Zuzu, Monteclaro, Deles, and Esguerra. No Ken Bono, Zuzu for 3 though. Can't pull a Ken Bono, but Leo Esguerra drilling that is the next best thing.
Yes, of course. RJ Deles with the hustle on the second effort there, and then with the flair with the behind the back pass to Esguerra.
Lim Chi Wei also making the start here for Harimau. Surprising for Coach Yong Kian An. Elbow jumper there, that's no good for Lee Ting Hong.
And Shawarma Shack taking a page out of Harimau Malaysia's book, going with a 2-3 zone defense to start the half.
Monteclaro taking advantage of the Zuzu pick. And Zuzu with a handoff, trying to fool everybody here. Zuzu can't get some help from the glass. And that time still no good. Look at Zuzu just fighting for those offensive rebounds. He's got a double-double already.
He took a hard fall to the ground at the end of that possession, but surrounded by 3 players, all of them just kept their hands up there. As you can see from this one here, from this replay here, all of them just kept their hands up, and the referee just didn't call anything there. Didn't see anything to call about there.
On the other side, Harimau Malaysia still hasn't scored here in the third quarter. Mei turned it over, and Zuzu just wrestling it away from Mei. Mike Zuzu getting frustrated here, just bumping the shoulder of Wong Yi-hao.
Slightly frustrated here for Mike Zuzu there as Ting Chun Hong bumped into him, and then with the extra hands at the end as Mike Zuzu, well, looked to throw an elbow there, but Nelson Chan, the FIBA level referee, is really a quick blower of the whistle.
I'm sure the last thing he wants to do is for things to escalate into something undesirable, which is why he has a quick trigger on that whistle, so to speak.
Yep.
Zuzu back on offense. He's got 3 defenders on him, and to him they're like flies that he wants to swat away.
Yeah, you know, every time Mike Zuzu is getting the ball inside the paint, he gets surrounded immediately by 3 players there. As you can see, Zifeng, Yi-hao, as well as Jing Hong trying to surround the import for Shawarma.
Chang Ti-feng taking a seat, Anthony Liu back in, probably to combat the physicality of Mike Zuzu.
And Anthony Liu is, usually looked to defend the opposition interior threat. So a really good matchup for Mike Zuzu.
6-point deficit here for Shawarma Shack. That uphill climb beginning to plateau a bit, and they just need to keep their foot on the gas.
And they're just struggling against this 2-3 zone of Shawarma Shack so far.
Zuzu to the rack.
Mike Zuzu leading the way for Shawarma Shack, continuing where he left off in that first half.
But you have to give credit to the perimeter defense of Aviso and Monteclaro, which led to that steal and that Zuzu breakaway. Zuzu with a rebound. Harimau not really making their shots fall here in the second half so far.
Yeah, I thought Jing Hong had an open layup there on that last possession, but he kind of missed it.
Zuzu in and out. Liu getting the rebound. Wong Yi-hao against Monteclaro. Zuzu a bit slow to get back down on defense, hoping that's just fatigue and not any lingering injuries. 8 seconds to shoot here for Harimau. Mei passing it. Lim Chi Wei gets it.
Yeah, and Chi Wei operates best, not necessarily stretching his game onto the 3-point line yet, but he does really well knocking down shots from the mid-range area.
And Lim Chi Wei, one of the shorter players here for Harimau Malaysia, also one of the youngest, only 19, and already being hailed as one of the rising stars of the Malaysian basketball program.
Yeah, he definitely is, a very young player, very smart player, and he has been having some good performances recently in the Malaysian tournaments.
Good baseline jumper, still can't connect. And Shawarma Shack, they're taking advantage of these fast break opportunities. Monteclaro, lefty 3, can't get it to go. Meanwhile, here's Mei. He hasn't taken a shot yet in the second half. Lim Chi Wei finds an opening. Zuzu gets it.
Yeah, Lim Chi Wei, like I said, a really patient player, a good basketball IQ, knows when to pick his moments there. But that one there just challenged well by Mike Zuzu.
I thought we were going to have a post-up situation with Zuzu and Anthony Liu. Instead, Zuzu pulls up from 3. And Zuzu has taken too many threes without having made them yet.
Yeah, still not able to find his range.
Mei! Sorry to cut you off there, but Mei just fired it up and you knew that was automatic.
Yeah, no, definitely. So he still stays perfect from the field, while Mike Zuzu is 0 for 4 from 3-point range.
6 for 6 from the floor for Mei as Zuzu drives inside. Contested by Liu, can't get it to go. Zuzu once again. And he's earning his free throws here.
And honestly, compared to that first game, it's night and day in terms of his free throw shooting for this game. Once again, RJ Dallas with the hustle on the second board and gets it to Mike Zuzu, who is looking a little bit tired out there.
Zuzu's played a little over 22 minutes at this point.
And that's never an easy minute. That's never easy minutes when you're playing against Harimau Malaysia, who loves to run the court, run out on the break.
And as if things can't get any more difficult for Mike Zuzu, Ken Bono still hasn't checked back in. We're unaware why, but Megan Mahadevan back on the floor. So the onslaught of the bigs from Chang Feng to Anthony Liu to Megan Mahadevan. Curiously, no Kwek Tian Yuan.
No Kwek Tian Yuan yet. But, no Kwek Tian Yuan on the bench today as well. He's sitting on the sideline here today. So maybe Yong Kian An, Coach Yong Kian An, just trying to, give different players different playing time, just testing out what's the best combination for this team.
Harimau trying to get something to go here. Diwi Yang from mid-range. They'll make that a three-pointer for Diwi Yang.
Yeah, exactly. We thought a mid-range jumper was we thought a three-point jumper was a mid-range jumper in that first half, but this one is a three-point shot.
5:10 remaining here in the third as Esguerra pulls up from the foul line. That one short, secured by Harimau. Here's Mei. I thought he was going to set the table, and he does for Diwi Yang. No good. Esguerra picks it up. And quick collision there for Shawarma Shack. Really unfortunate, resulting in a turnover. And if you're Harimau, you might as well just take advantage of the situation.
No, for sure.
Mei, this time the streak is over. He's 6 for 7.
Yeah, Mei missing his first shot there.
Nothing lasts forever indeed. Offensive rebound for Shawarma Shack. That's a three-pointer. Still no good for Shawarma Shack. And Mei with the outlet pass. And Diwi Yang's going to the line.
And a great heads-up play by Mei right there on the rebound. Quickly found his running mate, Diwi Yang, out on the break. And Wee Young kind of slowed down there
as he gets fouled. Ken Bono about to make his way back into the ballgame. We were wondering why it took him so long to check back in. Shell Kiambao has an update.
Hey, Stan and Meng, earlier into the game, we talked about how Shawarma Shack prepared for this game against Harimau, but there has been a change of plans for the second half. According to their coaching team, they will shift from man-to-man defense to zone defense in order to contain the scores of the opponent, as they noticed that almost all Harimau players can shoot very well. Back to you, Stan.
Thank you very much, Shell. It remains to be seen how Ken Bono will adjust given that change in the defensive schemes. We'll be right back with more third quarter action. Back from that quick break, and Diwi Yang stepping up to the line for 2 shots.
Yes, Dan. And going back to the sideline report by Shell, I think that a zone defense would fit Ken Bono even more, hiding a little bit of his mobility problems and allow him to just patrol that paint.
Diwi Yang, no stranger to AsiaBasket. He was part of the Kuala Lumpur ASEAL squad in the last tournament in October. Meanwhile, Bono taking a quick shot.
And perhaps that's why he's been kept on the bench for so long, just enough for him to get his breath back.
Trying to raise that stamina level back to 100 if you were playing NBA 2K.
Oh, yeah.
Megan getting that rebound for Harimau. Back out. They've got 8 seconds. Harimau can't get that three-pointer. Here's Aviso. Numbers disadvantage here for Shawarma Shack. That's why Kit Aviso had to slow down as Pasculada drives. Comes up short. Megan Mahadevan really active on those loose balls. Here's Mei. And that second shot opportunity is good for Mak Lok Seng.
Yeah, nice follow-up there by Mak Lok Seng, but he was trying to screen for Mei in transition. That's not something you see so often.
And now almost every player from Harimau has scored. Only Ong Wei Yong hasn't.
Ong Wei-yong definitely known more as a playmaker, but he can score.
Here's Billy Rojo. Can't get it to go. Outlet pass to Milo Mack. And it looks like he probably didn't have enough Milo this morning.
No, definitely not. But Milo Mack gave his all right there on the break as Di Wei Yang just threw a searching pass looking for his number 21. Almost bumping into camera there as well.
Yeah, you don't want anyone bumping into those cameras.
No.
Those are expensive. The stanchions, those will hurt.
Man.
Credit at least to Mak Lok Seng for trying. Two bigs for Harimau. You've got Mak and Megan Mahadevan, countered by Zuzu and Ken Bono for Shawarma Shack as Zuzu hits a three.
Well, he's been trying that three so much in this game, and he's finally hit one now.
Shawarma Shack down by 7. Quick ball movement. That baseline jumper no good for Harimau Malaysia.
And that will leave, that miss by Ong Wei-yong will leave him still as the only scoreless player on Harimau Malaysia.
But as you said, he is the point guard, the playmaker for Harimau Malaysia, so I don't think that bothers him very much. 10 seconds here. Megan blocked by Ken Bono. And that's going to be a travel.
Ken Bono with the veteran experience there, just putting a hand where Megan would rise up with the ball. And that got him to commit that turnover.
And I'm sure when Ken Bono looks at Megan Mahadevan, he sees glimpses of his younger self, because when Ken Bono was Megan Mahadevan's age, they had a very similar body type.
And it's not a typical body type that you see in Malaysian players as well. So definitely someone a Malaysian team would like to groom into a potential center.
Actually, Megan Mahadevan is quite the outlier as well when you look at the rest of the Malaysian national team, being one of the few Malay players. I was talking to Coach Guga Batumalay last year when he was in the Philippines, and he explained that basketball is really a sport that the ethnic Chinese tend to gravitate towards more.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just going to correct you a little bit there, but Megan Mahadevan is half Chinese and half Indian.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not wrong, yeah.
Thank you for correcting me. Three-pointer there for Pascolado. And Zuzu cleans it up down low.
Zuzu just being the garbage collector on all this. His teammates have been missing, but Mike Zuzu is the one who has been benefiting from all these second chance points. And Lee Jing Hong there, pulling on his shirt, will pick up his third foul for the game.
Harimau Malaysia not really boxing Mike Zuzu out, allowing him to pick up those offensive rebounds and cashing in on those second chance opportunities.
And Coach Yong Kian An just seemingly just rotating bigs, just throwing different types of defender at Mike Zuzu, and none of them is working so far.
Three-point play opportunity, no good for Mike Zuzu. Could have cut it down to 4. Still a 2-possession game here. Ong Wei-yong almost slipping on that last pass as Zuzu grabs another rebound. That's number 14.
Wow, he's got a monster double-double right now, Mike Zuzu.
Zuzu down low. Taking advantage inside, another 3-point play opportunity. We've got a single possession game, Meng.
And referee Nicole there calling a foul and 1. 2-point will count. And Lee Jing Hong picking up his 4th of the game, the first of the 5 big men of Malaysia to pick up his 4th.
Anthony Liu back in, Mei Mei back in, Lee Jing Hong and Di Wei Yang taking a seat.
And Mike Zuzu has come out in this second half with a point to prove, or in this game with a point to prove.
3-point play is good for Mike Zuzu. He's 8 for 12 now from the charity stripe.
He's single-handedly trying to bring them back into this game.
2-point game here. Harimau wants to break this run from Shawarma Shack. Double teaming Mei Mei inside. Mak Lok Seng can't get it to go. Zuzu with rebound number 16.
Man, you think he'll get to 20 rebounds? Wonder what's the record for rebounding in a single game in AsiaBasket.
That's very much in play here as Zuzu draws another foul. This time it's going to be on Anthony Liu. That's number 3.
So 3 straight trips down the floor from Mike Zuzu and 3 straight fouls. The only saving grace here for Anthony Liu is that he prevented the score by Mike Zuzu.
As you mentioned earlier, Meng, Mike Zuzu already with a double-double here. He's got 27 and 15, along with 2 rejections.
And he's on his 13th and 14th free throw trips now. That's quite a lot for an AsiaBasket tournament, I think.
Trying to get confirmation on the record for most rebounds in a single game, which Mike Zuzu is very well approaching. I believe someone hit 20 rebounds in the Summer Championship in the Philippines last year, man.
I'm not surprised if someone did. A lot of quality players here in the PhilBasket tournament.
Less than a minute remaining here in the third quarter. Mei going one-on-one to Mac, to Anthony. Ong Wei Yong here.
An unnecessary turnover there, not noticing where he put his foot as he stepped on the sideline there. And I do think that Harimau Malaysia could use a little bit of a Chang Ji-Fung now, as one way to break the zone defense of Shawarma Shack is to stretch the floor with shooters.
That was the 11th turnover for Harimau Malaysia, compared to only 8 for Shawarma Shack. And taking care of the ball has actually helped them get back in here. Good pick from Zuzu. 5 seconds to shoot, and as I mentioned the turnovers, I must have jinxed Shawarma Shack unwittingly here.
Yeah, Harimau Malaysia has caught themselves in a rut at the moment. They're struggling to score. They've struggled to score in that past 5 or 6 minutes now. And Shawarma Shack has closed the lead down to a 1-point game.
8-second differential here between shot clock and game clock. Shawarma Shack has actually outscored Harimau Malaysia 19-10 here in the third quarter.
And if I were Coach Raymond, I would do nothing to this 2-3 defense, since it has stifled the Malaysian offense so far.
That jumper from the top of the key, no good for Wong Yi Hao. 3 seconds that separate shot clock and game clock. Bring out the horns for Shawarma Shack. Bono finds Zuzu inside. Anthony Liu gets the rebound. Last shot here for Harimau. They go to Mei. Mei losing the ball. Here's a scramble. And it goes to Mei for 3. Yes!
Somehow, some way, Mei finds the way.
Mei did not care how much time was left. All he knew was, if I throw it up, it will go in. And at the end of the third, Harimau is up by 4, 66-62. Fourth quarter of play right here at the Maba Stadium. The main event between Harimau Malaysia and Shawarma Shack. Wong Yi Hao, no good from the elbow.
Mike Zuzu has not just been a presence on offense, he has contributed on the less glamorous end of the court as well.
Here's Mei. He's got numbers. Unselfish play to Wong Yi-hao.
Yeah, no selfish play here for the Harimau Malaysia. They've played with each other a long time, and you know, all of them just enjoying their basketball here.
Meanwhile, Zuzu just bumping into 4 defenders. Bono, left corner 3. Yes!
That's the pick your poison of a Shawarma Shack. You either have to defend Mike Zuzu inside the paint or Ken Bono outside it.
Liu gets the rebound off that Mei miss. Wong Yi-hao, baseline J. Can't get a short jumper. .852 remaining here in the fourth quarter as RJ Dellis takes it to the rack. He's got 4.
Yeah, RJ Dellis scores his first basket of the game. First 2 points came from the free throw line.
Meanwhile, Harimau's action, they're swinging it around, letting everyone get a touch here. Diwi Yang running into 3 defenders. Anthony Liu to Mei. Another clutch shot is good!
Man, it has just been that kind of night for Mei, man. It has just been that kind of night. Everything he's putting up is going down.
6 for 9 from long range. Another day at the office for Ting Chun Hong. 11 on the shot clock here. RJ Dellis gets double teamed inside and draws the whistle.
Foul called on the floor there, so it will be sideline ball for a Shawarma Shack to set up a baseline inbounds play.
And Coach Yongkian An really keeping his bigs fresh, making sure that they get ample rest in between these short bursts.
Yeah, exactly, and like I said earlier as well, this switches in big man also throws different types of defender at Mike Zuzu as well as Ken Bono, so forcing them to adjust constantly.
7 seconds to shoot here. Dellis can pass it to Bono or Zuzu, Monteclaro, and Ken Bono left corner. No good this time as Ong Wei Yong picks it up. Couple of stats that we're keeping track of. Ong Wei Yong, the only Harimau Malaysia player who hasn't scored. Meanwhile, Mike Zuzu, just a few rebounds away from the all-time fill basket record for most in a game. He's got 19. The record is 23. Make that 20 for Zuzu. He's 3 rebounds away, Meng.
Yeah, it just seems like he has a magnet on his hands right now for rebounds.
Monteclaro resetting the offense here for Shawarma Shack. Deep 3. And now Harimau is running outlet pass from Ong Wei Yong to Wong Yi-hao.
This is the second time that Wong Yi-hao has had that matchup on the break. The earlier came in that first quarter there where he was pulled out with a foul, but this time Wong Yi-hao cleverly, with a well-placed pass from the Malaysian playmaker, shielded the ball away and knocked it down for the and one. And Wong Yi-hao, you know, as you said earlier, mentioned earlier, Captain Clutch, showing up now in this fourth quarter.
Can't finish the 3-point play there.
Sorry, he scored 4 points so far already in this fourth.
He had 31 just last night. Would have been impressive to see him go back-to-back with these 30-point performances, but Mei caught fire. That's one of the reasons why Harimau is up right now. 4 seconds. Makabalug to Zuzu.
This time Mei will pick up the foul defending Mike Zuzu there. Mike Zuzu just really crafty, always drawing contact when he goes up with the foul. As you can see there, great pass by Makabalug. And Mei, his hand just in the way.
Yeah, Michael Makabalug really threading through the defense there to find his big man.
And, you know, a great cut there by Mike Zuzu as well, being proactive on the offense. It's always both sides of the hands. You always need both sides of the hands for a clap.
keeping track of the record here. Once again, the all-time record for most rebounds in a FilBasket game is 23. Zuzu has 21 at this point, and that record is within reach.
Definitely is within reach. You know, one of the great all-time rebounding performances we've seen here at the AsiaBasket tournament. Mike Harry Zuzu just dominating not only on the boards but in terms of the point column as well. Mike Zuzu only had 14 points in that first half, but in the third quarter alone, he's matched that first half output, also scoring 14 points. So, you know, we might see a 30-30 double-double here.
One of the rarities in professional basketball, that's for sure. Short jumper in the paint, no good for Ihao. Bring it back to Ong Wei Yong, now Mei Mei. Let's see if he can trick his defender here. Di Wei Yang from the corner, that's good.
Di Wei Yang has been shooting impressively well as well today. Shooting about 60% on the floor, and that made shot must have helped his percentages.
And Harimau has a 9-point lead once again. Shawarma Shack seemingly running in place after that impressive third quarter. Mike Zuzu thought he got that, would have gotten that offensive rebound.
No, not the best option for you to have shoot.
Oh, I thought that was an alley-oop there. Last touch, Mike Zuzu.
I'm going to give you a fun fact. The only player in Malaysia that I've seen perform a alley-oop dunk live is actually Mei Mei. Mei Mei had that against in the major basketball league held right here at the Maba Stadium last year.
Mei Mei known more as a shooter, but to see him actually finish an alley-oop dunk, that's something that I didn't think was in his player DNA.
No, he's got that. He's got that sneaky hops.
Ihao from the baseline.
Captain Clutch comes into action again.
He's got 12, and Coach Raymond Valenzuela has seen enough. We'll be back with more. You're looking at the Shawarma Shack and now the Harimau huddles. Coach Raymond Valenzuela has a lot to discuss heading into these last 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Shell Kiambao has an update on what exactly went down in that huddle. Shell?
Hey, Stan and Meng. Shawarma Shack was down by a couple of points at the end of the third quarter, and now more than ever, they're trying to capitalize on their import Mike Harry. Earlier, Coach Raymond was exploring on their options on how to counter the opponent's strong shooters, such as Mei Mei. By the way, Stan, earlier we noticed Ken wasn't around. It's because he is experiencing some foot injury due to the nature of this tournament wherein teams play games consecutively. Back to you, Stan.
Thank you very much, Shell, for that update on Ken Bono, who seems to be shaking off that foot injury. Let's try to get an update on the other injury earlier to Uy Shenfu, who we haven't really seen since he checked out. Ken Bono hits nothing but air there. Shawarma Shack running out of time, and that's a shot clock violation for Shawarma Shack.
Exactly, you know, a little bit of a Shack-ting a foul there as the shot clock wound down. Leo Esguerra actually finding the referee instead of his teammate Ken Bono, who was camped out in the corner.
Mike Zuzu conspicuously absent now, probably getting that well-deserved rest here for Shawarma Shack.
Yeah, the coach probably wants him to come back into the game in that final 3 minutes.
5 minutes remaining here in the fourth. Without Mike Zuzu, Ken Bono has to step up. He has to find that range once again because nobody else on the floor has really produced at that level. RJ Delis with the second chance for Shawarma Shack.
That will be a new 14 seconds for Shawarma.
Makabalyug inside.
And a great cut there by Makabalyug, cutting all the way, and Pascalado found him, rewarding him with a bucket.
Shawarma Shack with another rebound there as Heng Yitong misses.
And you know what, Stan? For all Harimau Malaysia, or how good Harimau Malaysia has been today, Shawarma Shack is only just 9 points away.
That says a lot when you're a team of professionals, of vets, not necessarily at the PBA level, but you're able to hang with the national team of Malaysia, then I think regardless of the result, that's something you can hang your hat on. But we're not about to eulogize Shawarma Shack just yet, because in comes Mike Zuzu. He's back in the game, as we said earlier, 2 rebounds away from the record, which was set by Felix Aprecu, who had 23 rebounds in back-to-back contests, April of 2022.
Man, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't scored 28 points like Mike Zuzu has. He's just been doing it on both ends of the court. So we'll definitely be watching out for Mike Zuzu right there. As, you know, in this final 4 minutes of play, it looks like the coach of Shawarma Shack has kind of gone back to his starting lineup here, save for Pasculado.
Less than 4 minutes, score 78-69. Not so nice for Shawarma Shack as Bono gets blocked.
May waited for that block right there.
That's a 3 for Heng. Zuzu with his 22nd rebound. Stripped though by Harimau.
Oh, not a wise play there from Mike Zuzu. I know he got hacked a little bit, but bigger players. Exactly. Referee Nelson Chan did call a technical foul on Mike Zuzu there, as he was telling the referees that it should have been called a foul on that strip there.
And now Coach Raymond Valenzuela discussing with referee Nicole, is it?
Yes, exactly. Referee Nicole, one of the top level referees here in Malaysia as well.
And one thing I appreciate about the Malaysian officials is that there are more females here on staff as opposed to the Philippines, where it's mostly men. So it's nice to see this level of progressiveness from the Malaysian basketball scene.
No, definitely. You know, we do have a couple of high-level female referees, and you have to give them the credit. They're able to keep up that fitness. You know, it's not something easy that I could do.
Megan Mahadevan down low. He's got RJ Delis. That's a mismatch. Passing out to Maymay. He's wide open. Maymay!
And why am I not surprised that it is Maymay who has extended the lead for Harimau Malaysia here?
28 points for Maymay. That was his 7th three-pointer in this contest. Trapping here on defense. And there's another whistle from Nelson Chan.
This time the foul will go in support of Mike Zuzu there. Megan Mahadevan giving him a push on the catch there. As you can look at both of them battling inside the post. It's not an easy guy to keep in front of you, Mike Zuzu.
14 seconds to shoot here for Shawarma Shack. And they haven't really put much points on the board since the 4th quarter began. Only 7 compared to 16 from Harimau.
Yes.
And there's another foul. Zuzu raising his hand there.
Yeah, he's waving goodbye to Megan Mahadevan. As you can see on this replay here, Megan Mahadevan, just bumping into Mike Zuzu there. Not a wise foul from Megan, considering he was on 4 fouls. He has done a pretty good job against Mike Zuzu, but he will now take a rest on the bench.
Fresh 14 here for Shawarma Shack. And that's a 3-pointer for Monteclaro. Ong Wei Yong snares it down.
And Monteclaro was left wide open on that well-designed baseline play.
Maymay, can he make it rain one more time? 10 seconds here for Harimau.
Harimau Malaysia just trying to use the entirety of the shot clock here.
And here's Maymay inside, denied. Bono gets the rebound.
RJ Della's definitely got a hand on that.
Zuzu can't work his magic in the paint.
No, Mike Zuzu there, putting up that shot a little bit too quickly.
And here's Maymay making it rain!
Maymay is just on fire right now. 31 points with 10 in this 4th quarter alone.
Meanwhile, RJ Deles having a hard time passing it out to Bono for 3. Yes!
And Ken Bono gets his first bucket in a while here.
Last 2 minutes of this ball game, 13-point difference between both teams, and time is beginning to run out for Shawarma Shack. Another break in the action.
It does seem like an intentional foul was committed by Julius Pasculato right there. Perhaps the referee, the coaching staff did shout at the players on the court there for something. So Walter Buenavista, we're seeing the first of him in this AsiaBasket tournament here.
That's right, Walter Buenavista, one of the team owners of Shawarma Shack.
Very nice. But before that, it will be a timeout by Shawarma Shack.
Couple of subs in here for Shawarma Shack. The team owner, Walter Buenavista's here. Hiro Tomilioso also checking in at number 19.
Yeah, a couple of players who has not gotten a lot of playing time here. As Maymay with the second chance points.
Larry Bird, 33. That's what Maymay's got. And with this 15-point difference separating both teams, it looks like Harimau Malaysia might just cruise to their second victory here in the AsiaBasket International Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, they will. Shawarma Shack seems to have put in their backups now. And I think they'll just see out this game comfortably. And Harimau Malaysia goes undefeated here.
Meanwhile, Shawarma Shack drops to 1-1. Really unfortunate that Mike Zuzu is done for the night, as Maymay blocks Buenavista right there. Mike Zuzu finishing 1 rebound short of the record here in PhilBasket that Felix Aprecu set last year. Back-to-back 23 rebound performances, but 22 rebounds, nothing to sniff at as Billy Rojo drains that fadeaway J.
Yeah, there will be a substitution for the Harimau Malaysia team now. Lim Chi Wei coming into that team, but it's really a pity that we can't see Mike Zuzu hit that record. But you know, we never want to force things here. Never want to create fake stats, you know.
Yeah, stat padding, not exactly the best look for either team as RJ Deles sends that shot back where it came from.
Yeah, Milo tried to get the layup, the reverse layup right there, but no easy buckets, even though it is garbage time.
Wong Yi-hao on the baseline, down low to Mak. Swinging it around, Lim Chi Wei for 3.
Extending his range a little bit here. And extending the lead as well for Harimau Malaysia, as Malaysia will see out the rest of the game clock.
Yeah, they'll dribble this one out. RJ Deles having a few words with Maymay as Wong Yi-hao takes another one.
And seems like a customary bucket here for Walter Buenavista, the team owner of Shawarma Shack.
And with that, the final score is 96-76 in favor of Harimau Malaysia. It was a competitive matchup throughout the first 3 quarters, Meng, but
exactly.
Shawarma Shack just ran out of steam towards the end.
Yeah, and you can't compare Harimau Malaysia to Shawarma Shack. You know, Harimau Malaysia is the national team. They're gonna have so much more depth. You know, like you see, you know, Shawarma Shack only has Mike Zuzu and Ken Bono as their premier centers, whereas Harimau Malaysia could throw on 5 to 6, 4 or 5 position players onto the court to face them.
Looking at Shawarma Shack, like you said, 50 points combined from the tag team of Mike Zuzu and Ken Bono, and the rest of the team really needs to step it up if they want Shawarma Shack to advance past the elimination phase.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, for Harimau Malaysia, everyone but Ong Wei Yong putting points on the board. Double figures for Wong Yi Hao with 18, Diwi Yang with 13. But of course, the leading scorer, the man they call Mei Mei, who had 33 points on 8 of 13, blistering from downtown.
Man.
7 rebounds and 5 assists to add to 2 blocks and 1 steal. That's 3 stocks if you play Fantasy NBA. All around stat line for Ting Chun Hong.
Yeah, when he's in that kind of form, you just can't stop him there. Harimau Malaysia comfortably gets the win here and goes 2-0 for the season.
And it looks like we're ready to talk to the best player of the game. Let's send it over to Shell Kiambao. This one's no mystery.
Hey Stan and Meng, I am here with Mei Mei. Yesterday we were hearing from your fans, Mana Mei Mei. And now it's clear that we found him. Tell us about that hot shooting you've done earlier.
I just shoot the ball and then he goes in. There's a run, miss, then defend, that's all.
All right, so how close are you in terms of your preparation for your SEA Games?
Yeah, this tournament is for our prepares the coming SEA Games at Cambodia. So we keep doing our job. Yeah.
Before I let you run, any words from your fans and supporters?
Yeah, thank you for the support. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much again, Mei Mei. Congratulations to you and your team. Back to you, Stan and Meng.
Thank you very much, Shell Kiambao. If there's one way to talk to Mei Mei, and in his native language, I'd probably call him Lihai because of that shooting display.
Oh man, he shoots so well, but he's a man of so few words. You know, a different person on and off the court there, as Mei Mei with the post-game interview there.
33 points, 8 of 13 from downtown for Ting Chun Hong or Mei Mei. And that brings us to the end of our coverage, our doubleheader right here at the Maba Stadium. Once again, the final score, 96-76 on behalf of Meng. My name is Stan C, saying thank you very much, goodbye, and good night from Maba Stadium.